Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Martin Dreyfus Show. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the Russia and Ukraine crisis. Right now, we're going to take a further dive into probably the most pressing issue facing the world today, and that's going to be the deglobalization of the world's economy. What that means in layman's terms, or in basic terms, is the West and our allies and Europe are going to separate from China and Russia and probably pieces of the Middle East and create two separate economies. Prices are going to go through the roof. Resources aren't going to be shared, which typically means more scarcity, which means more war threats and a lot darker of a world, at least in history. That's what that means. So the next step of that, beyond every company pulling out of Russia and at least from America and many European countries, and the banning of Russian oil in America and Europe, has now stepped into coal. So we're going to get into that and kind of just continue looking at the deglobalization of the world's economy.
As the Senate voted earlier today to remove the preferred trade status for Russia, as well as to embargo oil and gas. It'll go over the House. We're expected to pass as well. In the meantime, talks seem to be going nowhere between Ukraine and Russia. For an update, we turn now to the White House and our Washington correspondent. She is Anne-Marie Hordern. So, Anne-Marie, thanks so much for being with us. Where do things stand?
Well, as you said, David, we do have the Senate acting on the PNTR, the special trade status, and also the ban on oil and fossil fuel products, those imports from Russia. So now that has congressional approval. Once it goes to the House and the president will sign off on it, that already we knew was going to happen. Of course, we have the sanctions out of the United States yesterday. What we're really waiting on is the Europeans. Now, we know they are going to make this ban on coal, but there did seem to be a bit of debate from the likes of some of these countries that are saying maybe not 3 months should be the wind down. Can we add 1 more month? Should it be 4 months? And then also there are a number of European countries that don't just want to come out with a fifth package. When they come out with that fifth package, they want to signal to the world what is going to be next. And likely, potentially, David, they could start talking about hitting oil. I think at the moment.
So there's already been a ton of talks about taking away oil. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the EU has put in a plan to cut out 2/3 of oil this year and all of it by 2027. So you're a little bit behind there. I'm sorry. The coal ban's important, right? And I understand you got to make sure your timeline fits because you can't have people in your country suffering too much. But, essentially it means that America and Europe and all these countries are going to have to source this product from somewhere else, and Russia is no longer going to have this significant amount of income that they used to have, which on the ground terms is going to make all economies take a huge step back. And being that we're already, at least in America, our CAPE rating is the second highest in history, which is the rating that determines how bad our next economic recession or depression is going to be. Our inflation's through the roof. We've had so much money put into our economy that hasn't gone back to normal. There's so many things, and it seems like these bans and this deglobalization is really going to be the tipping point of our economy. So we got to watch this.
Still, Russian natural gas is at the moment not on discussion on the table, but at some point we might get there. Because when I woke up, what I saw from President Mario Draghi last night, speaking very late, he said at his press conference, do you want peace or do you want air conditioning going on all summer? And that's really the stance Europe is now asking their constituents.
Anne-Marie, you've covered this from the beginning, and I'm curious, do you think the line is moving when it comes to what Europe may be willing to consider, at least, on sanctions? There was a time that I thought that was off the table.
Isn't that the damnedest of questions, huh? You actually got to sit in your home like, am I willing not to have air conditioning in this 95-degree weather? I mean, the answer should be obvious. I'm just saying it's a funny proposal, and it's a very honest one.
It does appear to be on the table, and is that because of these alleged atrocities committed by the Russian troops?
This is what Mario Draghi has said. He said, because of the massacres of civilians we are seeing, because of the images coming out of Bucha, he says that not right now, natural gas is not on the table. But he said, and not on the table in terms of discussions, but he said we might get there because of these images and because the EU wants to make sure that they are speaking with.
So that's ridiculous. That again just shows politics. Why do we need to have images to place these sanctions, right? Because if we know these issues are going on, the governments knew this stuff, I'm guessing, a long time before we did. So why do we need to wait till it gets out to the media for then us to make a decision to do something? Make the decision. That's what leaders do. They don't react. They make things happen. So this lady's just going to keep reiterating, as most of these newscasts do. This coal ban will go into effect. The question is, how long is it going to take to fully go into effect? And the deglobalization of the world's economy is going to hit America. It's going to hit Europe. It's going to hit every country in this world. And I wish you luck, and I wish my family luck, and I wish everybody the best of luck going forward.